Hello, I'm Red Moon.
And I'm Blue Moon.
And today we're going to be talking about these guys. We were actually going to take these Monster High dolls off of our shelf a few days ago, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to do it because they're so great. And today we're going to talk about why they're so great and why I just could not bring myself to take them off the shelf. So if you grew up with Monster High, prepare to be nostalgic. And if you didn't, well, be prepared to learn about the best doll brand ever. Because some doll brands could never do what Monster High has done. Period. But first, let us take you through some basic facts we think you need to know about Monster High before we start going on about the little things we like about them. So you're not really confused. To figure out the date of when the dolls were made, we looked at the back of our oldest Monster High doll's head, and right on the back in small print it said 2008. So we figured they were made in 2008 and released in 2010. We looked that part up. They were released in 2010. I remember when they were released, but that's besides the point. The man who created them, his name is Garrett Sanders, an amazing guy, iconic. Here up on the screen is everybody else illustrators that helped create Monster High originally. We wouldn't have this beautiful decoration without them. So beautiful. Thank you. Monster High recently ended a few years ago. We're gonna get into that later in the video. But as of right now, I think I did the math right. I'm not really sure. There are 707 dolls. So if you wanted the full collection of every Monster High doll ever made, you'd need over 700. Where would you even put that many dolls? Like, I'd cover a whole room. That's just my rough calculation off of one website. So there's probably way more. Plus Comic-Con dolls because they got that popular. They were at Comic-Con. But that's a lot of dolls. That is so many. So if you didn't know, Monster High's whole theme and whole meaning is don't be afraid to be yourself and don't let your parents define you. It's okay to have flaws, and I feel like that's the point of Monster High, is to show you can be a little weird, but you just gotta accept yourself and love yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. BTS, Love Yourself tour. Monster High was already on BTS's tour before they were even a band. Now that the general info is over with, time for us to rant about how much we love Monster High, so enjoy these clips of us cleaning off our doll shelf and redecorating them, because this is the after shot here. This is not what they look like. They've been sitting on the shelf for 2 years and they fell over top of each other. It was all a mess. We also had to brush some of their hair and clean them because they were dusty and their hair was really greasy and nasty. So as we rant, you're gonna enjoy clips of us struggling to clean off our shelf and put them all up really nicely. Let's get into it! We recently watched our favorite movie, Ghouls Rule. They have 14, 15 movies out, but our favorite was Ghouls Rule. I remember when it came out, we watched it over 10 times when we were younger. Sometimes in the same day we were that chaotic and psychotic about it. But that was our movie. It was so good. And we recently wanted to look back on it because we loved the movie so much, and we realized they covered a lot of topics that most kids movies don't really cover, or they try doing it subtly. Monster High was in your face about it, so we're gonna list them off right here and have some examples. Just so you can tell how truly iconic Monster High is. I have it written down. The first scene in the movie, they have one of our favorite characters, Venus, talk about pollution.
Not like it's surprising. They're wrecking our school just like they're wrecking the environment.
Iconic, I love her. They also tackle classism when they try having Deuce and Cleo, this iconic couple, break up because she's rich and he's a common person. I don't know. There's movies that cover that, but the way they did it was nice. And combined with all the other topics, they just tackled a bunch of stuff at one time.
When are you gonna dump that loser of a boyfriend?
Deuce is not a loser.
Daddy says he's a slacker. I say he needs a haircut. And he says, dude, like every other word.
Girls, please. Nefer is correct. You belong with someone from royal lines. Someone who doesn't hold you back.
And then they also covered racism. That was the plot of the whole movie. It was basically monsters versus humans. And at the end, they all realized they're all more similar than different.
Oh no.
Aha! Monsters! I knew it! You know you're not supposed to be on our side of town. What are you freaks up to?
Nothing.
You started it.
And we're gonna finish it.
Oh yeah? Really? Come on.
Oh no! 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 Listen, slow down.
Oh, sorry. I need to charge my eye coffin.
It's not safe to be a me right now.
2 days ago, I was as angry and confused as you are. But now that I've met them, I see. We're more alike than we are different. We have the same hopes, the same fears,
the same dreams,
the same drama, the same insecurities,
the same taste in designer fashion.
That's why I hate racism. Let me just say that. Monster High taught me that racism takes too much effort. It takes extra effort to be racist. Like, you go out of your way to be hateful, and it's just seriously. Ooh, me, racism. We don't like it. We don't like it. It's stupid and it's dumb. Like, well, how are you gonna like use all that energy for that when you can use all your energy beating it up? It's more satisfying. Go on. They also talked about sexism a little bit with Abby and Heath. They didn't really. It was more of like a joke. I feel like Monster High tackles that, showing that girls can do anything guys can do. That's like the whole premise. They're not just like fashion dolls who are like look pretty. They did mention fashion in the movie, but twice, and it wasn't any part of the plot. They were like the same outfits the whole movie, so I don't know how they even like fashion dolls. They changed outfits like the last second.
Heath just got saved by a girl.
Oh, man.
Also, someone posted a clip on like TikTok of the scene. I was like, so I'm just gonna play the scene and I'm just gonna stare into the camera after you realize that it's messed up.
It's time we got back to the true meaning of this holiday. Putting monsters in their places. And that's why I declare on this Halloween that this criminal here shall be given the worst possible punishment for man or monster.
This ain't gonna turn out good at all, is it?
At dusk on Halloween night, we shall all join together and haul this creature to the top of the hill, where he will be given the trick-or-treatment.
Oh no.
Yes, the trick-or-treatment. So horrible it hasn't been used on a monster in 200 years. Well, let this boy serve as a reminder to all of them what Halloween is really about.
I don't care.
Wait, what?
Don't care, don't care, don't care. Holt did it. They did it. The boogeyman did it. Doesn't matter. Those people out there demand justice, and I'm gonna give it to them.
You mean vengeance?
When I take that boy up the hill tonight, things can get back to the good old days.
So basically, they're gonna murder one of the characters in a kid's movie. They aim to up on the hill. I'm like, is that what I think that they're alluding to? And the cop said, I don't care if he didn't do it, and I don't care if he did it, we're still gonna like do it, because that's what the people want. Like that. You see, there's some parallels. They were broke. They also made dolls in wheelchairs. Yes. Such as this beautiful guy. Other company would make a mermaid in a wheelchair. Representation at its finest. They have a lot of representation. We're gonna show some right here. They're really amazing with representation and just different types of people. I mean, maybe not body types, but like, yeah, they're always the same. They're always like this.
If you want to stand like a Monster High doll, make sure to slightly lean back, arch your shoulders, stick out your neck, curl your fingers, pull your arms back, stand on your tippy toes, and get some really tall shoes. And there you have it. Now you look like a Monster High doll. Oh wait, but don't forget to run like this.
Another reason why I like them, besides the diversity they include, because they're all monsters and they all got their freaky flaws and they all doing their own thing. Like, one doll's so different from the other doll. Like, there's no dolls that look the same. Besides, like, their face sculpts sometimes, but like, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Take Skeleta, for example. Yeah. She is a skeleton, and most doll brands would only show skeleton parts, like wearing those clothes over or something. But with Skeleta, they didn't. Like, her whole body is a skeleton. Maybe not anatomically correct, but it's a skeleton. And even Operetta, she has like an indented like tattoo thing that goes on the side of her face, but it goes all the way down her back. Yeah, like, they didn't really need to do that. But they did it, and that's why I love Monster High. This is a question for all you old Monster High collectors out there. Do all your old dolls like have flimsy legs like this one? Like, can they do backbends like that crazy? That's also another downside of having old Monster High dolls. When you take their limbs on and off all the time, you can sometimes break the connector that connects both of them. A few of our dolls have no hands. We're actually kids that play with our Monster High dolls, and we weren't always the nicest. I deeply apologize. All the collectors watching our video are shaking their heads. But you know what? No, I don't apologize. I'm not apologizing for being a kid and playing with the dolls and putting them to good use. That's on facts. Also, I realized we are slowly morphing into Monster High dolls even when we don't realize it. We kind of look like these two Monster High dolls, our favorites of all time. We haven't been actively trying to look like them, but now that I think about it, I'm like, the evidence is against me. But also, I look like Venus, I realized too. I looked at her when I took her off the shelf. I'm like, oh, when I had longer hair, I look like her a lot more, but I still have some semblance of it. And I mean, these earrings are also evidence against me. They're like crazy big earrings. I suddenly love big earrings, and it might be because of them. Here's some pictures of crazy Monster High earrings. Yeah, like, and their shoes. But this doll, shoes are crazy. I'll show you the doll with the craziest shoes. This doll, I think, has the craziest Monster High shoes of all time. Like, they're all solid one color, but they're so bulky. Like, there's cooler designed ones, but these are just huge. Right. Next topic! This is where we're gonna get really heated, so bear with us, please. Monster High, as we mentioned in the beginning, were cancelled. And I found out why recently thanks to this video. Thank you. I forget their username, but I watch your videos all the time. Love you. But Karens. Basically. Yeah. Just moms that were like, these dolls are too emo for my kids to play with. They're too influenced. They're like devil worshippers. No. Like, it makes me want to roll my eyes. You're gonna tell me a fish in a wheelchair is a devil worshipper? Like, come on now, come on. Like, they just look at them and judge them automatically. That's the thing. I connected with them more than any other doll, and I'm just sad that they got canceled. And I feel like that's what is the sad truth about Monster High. It's kind of ironic. They were like, be yourself, don't back down, you know, you're you, but then they changed for someone else and their whole brand ended. I think there's one thing we can learn from Monster High, and that is to be true to yourself and never change for other people. Thanks to this person's video, I found out that the creator, Garrett Sanders, like, he left Mattel, and it was basically because of differences he had with Mattel and Monster High. He wanted to go a different path with them, and they were like, no, we're changing them for these Karens, and he was like, I'm not here for that, so he left. But it sucks because they own his ideas since he left the company. Like, any idea he had in the company, they own. So he can't use his ideas anymore, which kind of sucks. But I found out that one of the dolls, Nathan, this guy, he was supposed to be like a gay LGBTQ character. And they were like, the one thing or quote the person said in their video was, it's not the time. This is not the time to make an LGBTQ character, but when is the time? Lady Gaga did a cover with you, like she collabed with you and you're still gonna say that? Like what? That's what makes me mad. I just wanted to rant about that. Like, this guy, the vampire dude, right? Yeah, this vampire dude. He had a whole movie plot around him where he was trying to win one of the main characters, Jackie Laura's heart, and like all this stuff. And he was gonna be LGBTQ, and he was just doing that to like feel better about himself, kinda, or like trying to trick himself into thinking he liked her, but he actually liked people like Nathan. Like, right. Like that would have been. And they said no, I'm not doing that. Like, if you want to see the difference between the old dolls and the new dolls, look at this. Like, they just made them for younger kids and not teenagers. Like, they switched it over, and it's like, I feel like Monster High was always for younger kids, though. Just because they aren't pink and girly doesn't mean that younger kids can't play with them. Because we were young, we played with them. Do you know what boggles my mind? I was drawing myself as a Monster High character because I'm that deep into revisiting them. I realized that on their character profiles, it said that Claudine and a few other people were 15. And now I'm 18, I'm like I don't know, that just blew my mind. It's like finding out that Finn from Adventure Time is actually younger than me at this point. Ew. Also, if you want to know how many are on the shelf before we end the video, I wrote it down because I don't have this information at the top of my head. I don't like to count because it makes me feel like I have too many, like when I obviously don't, like this isn't it's only a few. Our defense, we're 2 people, and for every holiday since we're like 10 years old, we always ask for one, so these basically just gifts. Yeah. Anyway, we have 58 dolls all together. 43 of them are Monster High, and 15 of them are other ones like Live Dolls and Bratz. So basically this video, we just wanted to talk about how much we love them, and we hope you also love them now. If you didn't love them before, now you gotta stand them. All like jokes aside and all Monster High things aside, with everything that's going on right now, we thought this would be a good thing to bring up. Because Monster High taught people, literal children, to treat people with respect, and adults can't do that. Right, that's just my thing. And just make sure, you know, to sign petitions in your free time, go to rallies if you can, do anything that you can. We've been signing petitions and we posted stuff. We can't go to rallies very often because we're always working, but you know, I feel like I want to go, but also like we're scared of like crowds and stuff. So that might not be the best for me, but if you can go, you should. We'll link a few petitions down in the description below if you want to help support. You know, people just need to stop being stupid and being on the wrong side of history, because if a doll company can get it right, then you can. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think with that, we're gonna just rent a dance party. Me. Monster High's with me with this race. They're like. Thanks for watching. Yes. And see you in our next video. There's no clip here. It's that greasy. Girl, no. What is this? Yes, I am 18. We're Toys R Us kids forever. But Toys R Us closed. Okay, I don't see the problem.